Hi everyone, welcome to Cycle and Fail number 8, where we're going to be looking at cyclists who fail to do the most basic things correctly. In case you missed it, here it is again in slow motion. They were riding way too fast and they were on the pavement, and seeing the car coming the other way, my viewer, made them panic. It was a good job my viewer was driving at an appropriate speed so they could stop to fix this mess. I wonder how many toxic cyclists are now going to try and lay this one on my viewer for going through that amber light. The highway code states that drivers and riders must give way to pedestrians who are on a zebra crossing. In this situation, it was the pedestrians who gave way to the cyclist. I think the car in front of the cyclist should have given way, so there's definitely no excuses for the rider. If you're more vulnerable, surely you should pay as much attention as you can. For me, it was a good job this cyclist was still while they were using a mobile phone. How is this not illegal, by the way? Here's a good idea. Let's ride the wrong way up a dual carriageway. You'd have to be absolutely idiotic to do this. At least the one at the front had lights on. The one at the back didn't. If you use a one-way street, it doesn't really take that much intelligence to work out that you can only go in one direction. These graphics were added by my viewer. Do you think the cyclist coming from the opposite direction knows that it's a one-way, or is it more likely he doesn't care? Well, I'm going with the latter, because it happens all the time on this street apparently. This is just blatant disregard for the rules that are there in place to keep us safe. At roundabouts you give way to the right, unless you're like this cyclist who just goes and expects everyone else to look after him. Another zebra crossing, and another rider who fails to look after people more vulnerable than themselves. Unfortunately, there'll still be some from the toxic cycling community that will try and justify this. This clip's from Liverpool. It's not mine, but we've got someone else who's struggling with the direction of travel.
What on earth?
You can't get more basic than what a red light means. Didn't see it, or didn't care. Please let me know in the comments. It's a pretty obvious one though, isn't it? I saw a clip recently on X where Chris Martin, the emergency response driver, had to deal with a cyclist that didn't have any lights and was wearing dark clothing. He was bizarrely questioned by some of the toxic cycling community, even though he did a brilliant job to save the guy's life. Cycle lights are not that expensive, and it also says in the highway code that you must display a white light at the front and a red light at the back. You must also display a red rear reflector, which this cyclist on the left has, but he's got none of the other requirements. The speed that you drive at allows you to deal with situations like this. My viewer here did well, but it also puts things into perspective how well Chris did in his situation. Nice job to both of you. A terrible overtake with no thought whatsoever. Some more problems with direction of flow, again fixed by the motorist. Yet again, some more problems with direction of flow. This one's pretty dangerous, this as well, but at least they had some lights on. I'm not sure what was shouted by one of the other road users, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't complimentary. Terrible filtering, with a kid on board also. The oncoming vehicle also is risking a fine by using the bus lane. I would have stayed in the lane too and held back and stopped. Although the infrastructure is good in London, I do think it's one of the worst areas for cycling, and it's simply because of the impatience. Some more London examples. Again, it's just people not following basic rules that keeps everyone safe. Some more legal phone use. But here's an interesting question. Would the motorist instantly be held accountable if you knocked them off, even if it wasn't your fault? Please let me know if you know of any cases similar to what I've just explained. This is the reason why training and leading by example are really important. But it also demonstrates why it's vital that all motorists take care with their driving so they can look after anyone who rides a bike. Don't forget, a mistake on a bicycle is much more likely to be fatal. Keep safe everyone, I'll see you soon.